Hey guys, Forex here. Hope you're all well. What you're looking at in front of you is a faulty Sony PlayStation 2 fat version. So yeah, if you stick around, I'll see if I can fix this thing. Now I already know what the problem is with this PlayStation 2 fat. It was sold as not reading discs. But first I want to confirm that, because you never know, the guy who sold it might be a tool and it might work perfectly fine. So yeah. I've got power, I've got RGB score up top, so that's power on the system, and see what we get. And the good news is we're getting a boot, so we know the system's working. Okay, let's pop Resident Evil 4 in there. See what happens. The fan in this is a little loud, but they are in some model PlayStation 2s. This is a 3000R model, if you want to know. And yeah, I think we can confirm that it's not reading discs, because that should have spun up and booted the disc by now. So yeah, that's confirmed. Looks like we might have a dead laser in there. Now, straight off the bat, I'm not very happy, guys. This was sold as not reading discs, and that was the only thing in the description. Yeah, let me show you what I've found out. Now if you look here, it looks like there's a scratch on the case. However, if I push it down, here you can see that's not a scratch, that's a crack in the case. So that's me off a little bit. Also as well, you might be able to see it here, it looks like this thing's had an impact. So yeah, that's not a good sign, and with this being sold as not reading discs, it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be the lasers failed inside, or because it's had an impact, you know, the laser mechanism inside has been whacked out of alignment. So yeah, if it's the laser, it's a simple fix, just replace the laser. If the actual laser housing and the mechanism's been whacked out of alignment, that can be a pain in the backside. So yeah, I'm not going to know until I get in this thing. So yeah, let's get in it and see if we can repair it. Yeah, that's not a good sign. Someone's already been in there, that security sticker's been broken. Okay, let's get in this thing. To get in the PlayStation 2 fat, there are 8 screws we need to remove, but first we need to remove the covers that hide the screws, and the cover is here, 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 and the final one is here. Remove those and you'll see the screws that you need to remove. Now I've removed those covers, you can see the 8 screws. There's one just here, there's one just here, there's one 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 here, and the final one is here. Remove those and you'll be able to turn the console over, and I'll show you how to remove the top cover. To remove the top cover from a PlayStation 2 fat, there's a little trick and tip I can give you. What you need to do is grab it like this and pull it forward. There you go, that's pulled it off. And what you want to do then is move it to the side like this. Now the reason for that is, as you can see, there is a ribbon cable for the power and eject mechanism, and if you just pull it straight off, you'll rip this cable out. What I want to do next is remove the power and eject button from the top lid. It's very easy to do. It's just press fit in, you just grab it and pull it out. Now the reason I want to do this is because, you know, you can see this PlayStation's in a little bit of a state, and I do want to give it a good clean, so I'm going to strip this down. So yeah, to get this out, it's super easy. You just grab it and it just pulls straight out. Now to get the top cover off the drive bay is very easy. There's 4 screws you need to remove. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here, and the final one is just here. Remove those and the top of the drive bay will come straight off, and we should be able to see the laser. We're in. We can see our laser, or its proper name, optical pickup. It's looking a little bit dirty. It's probably been in there since day one. So yeah, I've already powered this on to have a look at, see what the laser's doing, and this laser is totally dead. We might have dodged a bullet on this one. I don't think any of the mechanism's been knocked out of alignment. But if I power on and show you what it's doing, you can, did you see the laser try and focus there? There should be a red beam. If I eject the mechanism and then go, we take a look at the laser, you'll see the focus, and there's no red beam. So I think the laser diode has completely blown in this laser, and that's why this thing is not reading discs, because we should be able to see the actual laser, and we're not getting anything. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to replace that. Now what I need to do to get the old laser out is first eject the system, and there we go. I'm going to leave the tray eject out. Now what I do then is I power off the system, and that's it. Then there's no voltages going there, and I don't catch anything with my hand, and I don't electrocute myself while I'm trying to replace the laser. But what I'll do now is I'll get this out and we'll replace it. Let's get that old laser out of there. Now to do it, it's very easy. You just remove this screw at the top, just here, and that allows you to remove the slide rail. Now I'm going to try and do this one-handed, so bear with me. I'm just going to grab it like this. There you go, it comes straight out. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tilt it up like that. Now what I need to do now is release it from its ribbon. Now that's super easy to do. Now I'm going to need 2 hands to do this though. You pull this little lip down, and you pull this little lip down on this side, and then you'll be able to pull the ribbon cable out. So I'll go ahead and do that and then come back. That's the ribbon removed, and that's it. That's the old laser out. I'm just going to take its slide rail because I need that to put on the new laser, so I'll just put that back in there so I don't lose it. There, like that. And there's one thing I need to take off the old laser, and that's the actual drive, plastic drive that the sled motor uses to move the laser up and down, and that's it. That's the old laser completely removed. What I'll do now is I'll go and get a new one and swap this out. So I've got my replacement laser. Now I get my optical pickup lasers from a place called Z Labs. They are a little bit more expensive, but for me they're better quality. No, this is not an advert. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this out of there and then get it ready to pop in the PlayStation 2. There's our new replacement laser. Now the first thing I want to do is put the plastic sled guide rail back on there. I'm going to have to do that off camera because you know I need 2 hands to do that. So I'll go ahead and do that and then come back. that's the sled guide back on there. Now the final thing I need to do before I install the laser is remove the anti-static shipping blob that's on there. If you don't remove this, the laser won't work. And it's just there, it just protects the laser while it's in transit and it's being shipped. And all you do is just take your soldering iron, you just come along and you just melt off the blob like that, and then that's it, and that's ready for installing. Now we're ready to put the new laser in. Now installing the new is just like taking the old one apart. So I put the slide rail back in, you can see that. All I'm going to do now is turn it over. Oh, don't you dare fall down there. And I'm just going to connect the ribbon back up to the connector, and then I'll put it in there. I'll put that screw back in there that holds that rail down, and that's it. That's the new laser installed. Not too difficult to install a laser in a PlayStation 2 Fat. We're all installed. Let's see if we get any signs of life. Let's close the actual tray. And did you see that? We've got a laser beam. I'll do that again just in case you missed it. Yeah, we got the laser beam. So yeah, let's get a game in this thing and see if it boots. And the new laser is in. Now I've not put the lid back on because I still want to give a really good clean inside this. You can still see there's like dust bunnies and a lot of dust in there. You shouldn't really put a new laser back into a dirty house, and you should give that a clean as well. But yeah, as you can see, I've got Resident Evil 4 PS2 version in the drive. Make sure I'm powered on there, yeah. And let's power on. Fingers crossed we get a boot. Well, we've got a spin up, so that's a good sign. Let's see if the system boots. Yes. So yeah, there you go guys, that's what it looks like. It was dead laser, not too difficult to replace on the PlayStation 2. And as you can see, we're getting a boot. I'm actually doing the controller with my foot because it's on the floor and I don't want to lean down. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, there you go, look, foot action. Yeah, so yeah, that's what it was guys, a dead laser. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open this back up again. I'll give it a really good clean inside, and then that should be the system hopefully fully back up and working. Winner winner. Now I've got the system back up and running. I'm reading PlayStation 2 discs. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give the inside a really good clean. Now to do that, I want to take the tray out. Now to do that is very easy. All I have to do is remove these two screws and I'll be able to pull the tray straight out like this. That's the tray removed. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to spend 10 minutes giving the insides a really good clean. That's the drive mechanism all serviced. Give it a good clean. Removed and re-greased the sled motor. Re-greased the slide rails. You can see I put a little bit of grease on the actual slide rails. The tray moves on as well. So yeah, what I can do now is get the optical block, the tray back in there, and all put back together, and then I can start to move on to actually taking the bottom case off I'm putting the top case in soak and giving it a really good clean. Now I'm probably going to replace the top case. I have a 3000 series top case that I can use, so yeah, I'll probably replace that cracked one. So yeah, I'll get this back together and then we'll get on cleaning the rest of the system. And that's the optical block drive all serviced. What I can do now is start stripping this down so we can give it a good clean. Now to strip down the PlayStation 2, when you look at it for the first time it does look a bit daunting, but to be honest, it's not that difficult. Now to get the whole of the chassis out of the bottom case is actually very easy. There are 4 screws you need to remove. The first one is just at the side of the power port, just here. The next one is just here next to the fan, and the other 2 are either side of the memory card slot and controller port. Remove those and you'll be able to take the whole of the chassis away from the bottom case. So I'll go ahead and do that and then come back. That's the whole of the chassis removed from the bottom case. Now there's nothing in this to remove, so this can go straight in the bath, ready for soaking. However, there is something off the chassis I want to take off, and it's this back plate here that holds the fan. Now it's really easy, you just lift it up like this, you pull it out. Then what you do is you pull the fan out like this. There we go, just let the fan flop down. And then we do the same with the actual power socket. These can be a little bit tricky to push out. There you go, it's coming out now. And that's the back plate for the fan and the power button, power on button, and that can go and get soaked as well. I've gone and got my spare top cover 3000 series case, but if you're going to strip yours down to clean, I want to show you how you remove the memory card ports flaps. It's very easy. You just remove this screw here, you'll be able to pull this out, and then the memory card flaps will just pull straight out, and that's the top case taken care of. And it can go in soak with the rest of the case, the top and the bottom. Now the next thing I want to remove, so I can give it a good clean, if you look at the power and eject button, they're a little bit dirty, so I want to take those off so I can give them a clean. And to do that is very easy. You can see there is a screw there. If you remove that, you'll be able to take the power and eject button off. So I'll go ahead and do that and then come back. That's the upper and the lower case all stripped down, ready for cleaning. And boy, does it need a clean. I've got the upper and lower part of the PlayStation 2 case soaking in the bath. I've got the black plate there and all the little parts are in the cup. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll leave that for half an hour and then come back, give them a scrub and a clean. What I want to do now is strip down this PlayStation 2 further so I can give the motherboard and the heatsink a good clean. Now to do that I need to flip it over and remove the power board. But first, Sony, his little screw here. So before you flip it over and start removing the power board, you just need to remove that screw. Otherwise you'll have to do it later on and it will just off a little. I flipped the PlayStation 2 over. Time to remove the power board. Now that's very easy to do. There's only 4 screws. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here, and the final one is just here. Remove those 4 screws and you'll just be able to pull the power board straight out. now that the power board's removed, we're really starting to get into the guts of the PlayStation 2. The next thing I want to do is remove the shielding for the hard drive case. Now that's very easy, it just lifts straight off now the power board's gone. So I'm going to put that to one side. What I want to do next is remove the plastic separator that separates the power board and the chassis, the actual metal shield of the PlayStation 2. It's very easy, it just pulls straight out like this. There we go. And the final thing I want to do before I start taking the chassis off is remove the fan, and that's very easy to do also. As you can see, it just comes around here like this and you just unclip it. Now someone's been in this PlayStation 2 before, because normally there's a little bit of tape here that holds the fan wire down, so I can definitely tell someone's been in here before. Now to remove the bottom plate slash shield on the PlayStation 2 to get to the motherboard, there's 9 screws you need to remove. There's one here, 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 and the final one is here. Remove those. Then what you have to do is lift this metal shield out of these clips, and then you'll be able to take the metal shield off and reveal the motherboard underneath. Now that metal shield has been removed, we're really almost there now. There's just a number of ribbon cables we have to remove. The first one is the memory card and joystick port. To do that, you just lift up the ribbon like that, and then you can pull the whole of the memory card and joystick port out. The second one is the actual laser assembly, and that's very easy to do as well. Same thing, you just lift that up and you pull it out like that. And the other ones are just push fitted, so you just pull them out one by one. This is the spindle motor, this is your power and reset, and remove this one. Sorry, this one's a spindle motor, this is the eject mechanism, and that's it. That's the board almost out. I nearly forgot the sled motor, and that's it. That's the motherboard free, and it should come straight out like that. If we take a look at the heatsink, we can see there's a lot of dust around it, so it was a good idea to strip this down. You can see the motherboard is a little bit dusty also. Now the reason I stripped it down this far was for 2 reasons. The first was I wanted to see what version motherboard this is, because I'm thinking about mod chipping it later, and it's a GH, I'll turn it over, it's a GH15. I'll show you that just there. You can see the revision of the motherboard there. It's a GH15, and that's what you look for when you come to mod chip these things. You look for the revision motherboard. And the second reason I stripped it down this far was to replace the battery. I mean, this is just a standard CR 2032 and it's non-rechargeable, and this has been in there for what, 15 plus years. So yeah, I want to replace that thing. So I've removed the old battery. I'm going to put a brand new lithium version in there, and that should last quite a long time. That's the brand new lithium battery CR 2032 installed. That should last a fair while now. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a brush and a few Q-tips, and I'm just going to go through everything you can see here and give it a really good clean. And then it's time to put it all back together and pray to the repair gods it still works. That's everything cleaned. it's time to put this all back together again. Wish me luck. And we're all back together. So let's power on and see what we get. And we're getting a boot, so that's a good sign. Also, the fan sounds a little bit more quiet now I've cleaned it, so that's a bonus. As you can see, we've gone to a large dot there, so that tells me that the time and date needs setting, and that's because I replaced the battery in this thing. If your time and date set, you get the swirling lights like this. If your time and date's not set, you get the big blob. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the time and date. I'm also going to change this over from RGB out to component out. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that and then come back. I've switched over to component. I've set the time and date. So let's power on the system. And we should get a really nice picture. And we do. And as you can see, we got the swirls. So yeah, that's the time and date, and that's the battery working. So let me press the eject button. We'll put a game in this thing, and as you've seen how smooth that is now. It's not juddering. Before, when I was doing it, it was juddering. That's because I stripped it and gave it a good clean. Let's pop in Resident Evil 4, shut the lid, and hopefully we get a boot. Yeah. Winner. Set my language, it's English. I'll set it to NTSC, and you can see it's gone to NTSC because it's starting to mess with my shutter speed now, and you can see there's a little bit of flickering. Now I don't have a memory card in at the moment. Begin the game anyway. So yeah, there you go guys. As you can see, it's back fully working, and it's had a really good clean inside because it was really dirty. That's one of the dirtiest PlayStation 2s I've seen inside. So yeah, there you go guys. Hope you liked the video. Please give it a big thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Yeah, a fully working PlayStation 2 fat. Sweet. Ooh.
6 years have passed since that horrendous incident. It was right before I was to take on my duties of protecting the president's daughter that she was abducted.
And as you can see,
Who would have thought that my first job...
the FMV is flying. So yeah, anyway, I'll catch you next time guys.
I'm under the
Resident Evil 4.
Winner, winner. Catch you next time, guys.